computer. Well, good morning, everybody. This is my festive holiday hat. Hope you're feeling the festive holiday spirit. Merry Christmas to you all. My name is Craig Blanchette. I'm a global director and obviously the great grandpa, if you will, great grandpa health coach for all of you. So it's kind of fun to really think about back 6.5 years ago when I was starting my journey, 50 pounds overweight, jobless, and trying to figure out what to do with my life. And it started with needing to lose some weight, and then it snowballed into this amazing career, this amazing ministry in many ways, and the ability to have a consistent plan for staying healthy, not just becoming healthy, but staying healthy and actually becoming healthier over time. So this morning, a couple things I want to do is our topics today. Of course, we're going to really try and get through these. We're going to do some guest intros. So if you're a guest, we're going to be coming to you here shortly. We got an Elevate event coming up on January 7th, and we're going to be talking about that and the resources that are available. Why would you have one? An event could possibly be you and one other person, right? That's the minimum. It could be you and many people. So we'll talk about that in a minute. January, every January as a health family, if you will, all of us, we go through Dr. A's Habits of Health, one chapter a week. So we'll be doing that. We'll talk a little bit about that and how you guys can participate. And then we're going to be talking about the power hours and why they're valuable and the results that we had from this 2 week. We did two this week. And then we're going to do a little short power hour here with all of you live. So that'll be fun there. But without further ado, I would like to see if we have some folks that are joining us for the first time. And Sarah, well, Sarah's here maybe for the first time. How about them apples? So let me see. I'll unmute you there, Sarah. So a couple questions here is who invited you, where you're from, and just give us a little sort of, where you were in current reality, kind of what you're loving about Take Shape. But starting off with who invited you?
Carrie invited me. She's my coach.
Carrie Armstrong.
Yep. And usually I'm at work on Fridays, but I got the day off, so Carrie invited me, so I thought, why not?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, usually I'm working right now, so.
That's great.
I live in Yakima, Washington. I started Take Shape last August, so over a year ago. Lost 30 pounds. Been sort of struggling with gaining some weight back. I'm currently back on the 5-in-1 plan. Perfect timing with the holiday season, I feel like. So that's sort of where I'm at right now. Trying to break the emotional eating barrier right now. So that's where I'm at right now. And my husband also did the program. He's become a coach, so I sort of feel like his co-coach in a way. I've gotten him some clients. So yeah, it's the journey. I'm, to choose health every day, of course.
Yep. Got it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, welcome then. And so are you kind of partnering up with your coach with your husband and doing a little bit of team coaching, or is he primarily doing that, or what's that look like in your mind?
Well, it's more like people have seen me and said, what do you do? And then Ryan's the one who actually got in, did the actual package program. And so I haven't really applied to be a co-applicant. I probably need to look into that more, but so it's more like, here, honey, here's a client. Have fun. No,
yeah.
People that he knows too. So it's not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think all spouses, if you're married and you're a coach, your spouse is coaches in some way. They're partnering with us, whether it's sending you leads and referrals, or it's doing things while you do things so he can take care of people, and so that's great. Anybody else? So thank you, Sarah, and welcome. So just so you guys all know, so here's the family tree. I think it's fun to do this. So it's Sarah and Ryan, and then their coach. Everybody has a coach, is Carrie. And then Carrie is Dawn Carpenter. Dawn and Kelly Carpenter, by the way. Yeah, Kelly's coaching 2 people now. So that's pretty darn exciting. And then Dawn, I am Dawn and Kelly's coach. So that's the sort of the family tree as we go. So excellent. And it looks like everybody else is a familiar face. So we are going to, except for Martin. Look at Martin over there with his cool ring. Anyhow, well, we'll move on into the topics here. So we got the Elevate event coming up. And for starters, what I'd like to do is say, who is all the details worked out? Who wants to be part of or host an event? Show of hands. Terry, yep, Kelly's gonna do one. Barb, Alex, great, excellent. And so, if you think about what the Elevate, every January we have some type of an event where we get together and basically connect with people that have health on their minds. You know, January is the month where people take action. It's a fresh new year. Our minds are sort of just momentum. Just there's like a health magnet that just pulls people that direction, unlike any other time during the year. And December, we reflect on our current year and are we where we at? Are we where we want to be in life? And so having an event where you communicate and build community over that common reality that we have in our heads is a great time. It's like if everybody was thinking about bunco, maybe having a bunco party would be a good idea, right? And so everybody's thinking about health. And so we're getting together and having a health party. I can't take myself seriously with this hat on. Sorry, I have to take that off. Not that I normally can take myself seriously, but anyway. So that's what we're going to do. And so this Elevate, every January we have an event, and they are going to be hundreds of these types of events all across the country. Some people are teaming up with some other coaches and having more of a group thing, right? Inviting people to come. I know that Patty Glick, who's an integrated presidential director, is having some folks over to her house. So she might have 5 or 6 people over, and they're going to share some stories and so it can be an event of really any size. Alex, I want to get your kind of little feedback on that, because I know you've done a lot of these and give us some alternative perspective there.
Yeah, I'd love to. And especially now that there's no beret or bunco discussion anymore. And you were like sending us to a little whirlwind there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Love it. I love it. All right. Well, really excited to connect. We're in an event right now with each other and in team and together, it really is fun because we're able to reflect on like what matters in our life, and other people actually hold up the mirrors for us, and allow us to see where we're really at. Sometimes we don't want to see that, but you to be able to fix your hair like Carrie did or whatever it was, you have to kind of see yourself and think about preparing for what's next. So Elevate is about taking your life to the next level, and being able to do that, you recognize that it's other people who help you do that. It's hearing other stories. I mean, how many of you are here because of somebody's story? Because you saw something, felt something that related to something that you wanted or desired, right? And it connected, it resonated with you. And the reason why it resonated with you is because you're a human being too. And there's someone else who struggled. It wasn't like there was this perfect person who never had a problem, and then all of a sudden they walked by you and said, hey, you want to, come to this health lifestyle thing? No, it was somebody who probably had some challenges before that you could relate to, and that awoke something in you that already was there. So Elevate, this event in particular, is about helping other people to experience what you've experienced. Now, the interesting thing again about that, your experience only happened through someone else who was inspired by somebody else's experience. And so what keeps that going for you is that that ability to awaken that in other people. So having think about the opposite of that is isolation. And so this is my last thought on this, is that it's easy sometimes to get stuck in a rut of kind of being in our own protective world, especially now because we can do that with, not saying that this isn't connecting, because we are, but there's something that happens when you're just around someone and you share. There's a different energy, and it's actually proven scientifically now. We know that you vibrate, your body is like all this frequency in you, but even your frequency vibrates different when you're around another human being. It's funny, even heartbeats will start to align. It's like strange stuff that seems strange to the mind, but there's a certain energy, a collective energy that happens, and you interact. It's like a little more intimacy. Would you guys agree that, like, when you're with someone, and when I say intimacy, don't let your mind get a hold of that in the wrong way, but it's more connection. So what I've seen from, whether it's a small event with a few people, like Craig, you hosted an event at your house once where there was just a few of us. I love that. I remember it. It was years ago, but I remembered how important that was, to have that interaction with each other, the humanness of it all again. And I guess I'll ask this: would you guys agree that we've definitely been too entrenched in technology, like to where all of a sudden we start to lose a sense of community and that fellowship with each other? So whether it's a big event that you come to, Craig will take the mystery out of what we're really talking about with Elevate and what this is about in a minute, or whether it's something you just do at your house and invite a few people over to participate in elevating life, I think that you're going to really experience that joy of living again.
Mm-hmm. We are planning, but Alex, I'm hosting an event in Vancouver, and it's going to be with Alex, Daniela, Bill Ritchie, and Matt and Christy Engstrom. So the five of us, and we're gonna have a place where you can have up to like 150 people. So it'll be a lot of people to come to that.
What's the date, Craig? Did you already yell out the date on that?
That's it. It's the 7th.
Mm-hmm. January the 7th.
Yes. Let me double check. Elevate now, early, but yeah, this. Well, I was going to go into all the details here in a second, but I'm almost certain it is the 7th. You scared me there for a second. I'm pretty sure it's whatever it's yeah, January 7th. On January 7th. Okay. So so January 7th is a Saturday, and we're getting some of the details out. But if you're not living this area, I was just talking with Dan this morning, Dan Steets, and he's in Minnesota, right? And he's part of Wheelchair Sports Camp, and there's a big camp that he goes to. And so I was like, well, maybe you guys, there's a bunch of people at camp that are employees that probably aren't as healthy as they want to be, and maybe they want to do something about it. So interesting, we might be able to have something like that out at camp. And so we're talking about what it would look like to get a few people together and share some stories. And so if you go to TSFL, Coach Connection, it's a pretty cool little resource. And this is sort of what's going on with coaching, with Take Shape for Life and coaching. And, when there's products that are out of stock or coming back into stock, things like that, they'd let us know that, events. So when you go to their the homepage, it looks like this: limited quantities of maple syrup, right? Out of stock, some stuff, Thanksgiving hours, So I clicked on Elevate Now events. Took me to this page. And then there's a little message from Dr. A and Jan Chard here at the bottom. You can register your event. And then I clicked on this little Elevate Now host if I wanted to host an event. Or here's the homepage. So why don't we click on that homepage and see where that takes us? Well, here we go. So here's an interesting, there's some interesting important dates that registration opens. First host training. So there's some there's some training Zoom webinars on the 28th, Tuesday the 29th, and Wednesday the 30th. And then they've recorded one here, so you can do that. If you want to register your event, and look at all this, guys. 1, 2, 3, planning your event, hosting an event. Now, hosting an Elevate Now event. Elevate your Now event invitation list. So this is basically a way that we can connect with people, and through that connection process, give them an opportunity to awaken to a community and possibly a better state of health in many areas. So that's why we do these events. Not because we want it to be a big bunch of work, busy work, but it's because this is what we do as coaches. We connect with people and we partner up with them and help, and they help us and we help them, and we hopefully become healthier.
Mm-hmm.
How to invite people. Well, that's a nice little resource. I don't know how to invite anybody. I'm afraid. Well, click it. See what it says. Maybe you won't be as afraid after you read a little bit.
Can I share something on that, Craig?
You bet.
So I had a coach a couple of years ago, and she had really been isolated for a long time in her life. She decided to become a health coach. Kind of funny how somebody who had been kind of recluse for a bit decided to become a health coach. And one thing about health coaching is it's going to allow you to personally grow and develop because you're relating to others and whatnot. Well, she was really, really scared about doing an event. So we followed the steps just like that. And I asked her, I said, would you just trust it? If you just take the first step, it'll lead to the next step without looking at all the 12 steps, if you will. And she did. We went from 1 week to 7 days later. She had about 9 women in her house. She had invited a dental hygienist friend who ended up bringing like 5 people with her. And literally all she said was that I'm going to have a little healthy happy hour type get together at my house. We're going to talk about how can we get healthier this year and what are some things we can do. We're going to have some healthy food and have a little talk on why our mind stops us. I just gave her that much. That's it from sometimes getting into a healthy lifestyle and staying there. That night, she gained 5 clients in that one night. Never had brought anybody on before, but gave her some basic instructions. She showed a little video so she didn't have to talk because she didn't know what to say and what to do, and then answered some questions about the program. I was live. Had I not been live, I just would have been there on a Zoom or whatever. So I just wanted to say sometimes why we don't take action is because we don't know what to do. But what's nice is, like you're saying, is that you just take the one step and then you do the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly it. Anybody want to have comments on that? Have you had a similar experience where you get stuck because, well, I want to cook this recipe, but I want to cook this meal, but I don't have the recipe, so I'm not going to do anything, right? Or you don't know how to do something. Anybody have a comment about something where you didn't have confidence because you had no competency, but you hadn't done any practicing either? Can you think of a circumstance like that?
Well, I can relate it on sort of the same. It's like when I go to these Zooms or any of the trainings that like connect the dots, and you get all excited and you're given a task list to do, and it's like after it's all over, then it seems overwhelming. And it's not as if I don't know what to do. I know what to do. It's just getting over that hump of taking that first step. And once you take the first step, it's great. Mm-hmm. But it's that push to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's an example that just came to my mind. Has anybody who here has swung off a rope swing and let go and fallen into like water, a river or something? Anybody? Yeah, Carrie, Alex. Okay, the rest of you haven't. Really? Okay, that's fine. Well, the first time I did it, I didn't know what it was going to be because I was afraid. You know, am I going to fall? Am I not going to fall? Is the rope going to break? You know, all these different ideas in my mind, you know, and then you finally just sort of lean out, or maybe you're on a diving board and you're like, this is 2 miles up. It's really 5 feet, you know, but as soon as you just lean forward and do it, you know, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't so bad. And then you get up and do it again. And so, with Barb, exactly what you're saying is you know what to do, but it's the doing that counts, right? Who knows what healthy food is, right? I think almost everybody in the world knows that a Twinkie is not healthy for you. So knowing what's healthy is merely like 5% probably of it. It's the going from the knowing to the doing. And so what Barb is saying, and what I'm trying to say, and Alex as well, is you can't do the 20 steps in the first step. All you do is the first step. And that first step gets a little bit of momentum, and you go to the second step, you know, and you just kind of work your way through it. So you've probably heard the term, how do you eat an elephant? Not in one bite. It's one bite at a time. And that's why they have that saying there. So let me pull up a little bit more here so you can look at this thing, save the date. Imagine, Alex and I were just talking about creating some promotional flyers and posters and things like that. And wow, we don't have to create anything. We just
Are you sharing your? Oh, there they are at the bottom. Sorry.
Yeah, let's say this invitation. Oh, so look at this. Registration is now open. Elevate now. And so here is a little poster. Visit this to join your fellow health coaches across the country. Here's an interesting little thing. There's one of these links here. Look at that. These are all the hosted places that are having Elevate Now events. There's one in Germany. There's one in Colombia. Interesting. Those are usually Air Force bases. And so if we zoom in on that, let's go up here to Portland. Oh, we got quite a bit of stuff happening up here, don't we?
How about Yakima?
Yeah, let's see what's going on in Kennewick. Look at that.
Go to the next one over by Yakima.
Oh, yeah, Yakima. Wendy Bentley. She's awesome, by the way.
Got somewhere to go.
And so cost to attend, no or none, 10 a.m. And there's a little thing there. Or you can go, you know, Portland. Lisa Castro's having one. Interesting. June and Dan Matthews. Let's see here. Trying to figure out how to.
You know, one of the things I think, you know, where you're going, Craig, is that we can start to make our list of people, not only for our local one, but where we could send people to.
Look at that. Maureen, she's on the call today. And what's up? Having an event.
Yep. Love it.
Yep. So yeah, you can look and figure out, oh, there's somebody else that's having an event in my area. And interestingly enough, maybe I can join them. Kind of a fun deal. Oh, there's our event. We're hosting it with some other folks. So anyhow, you guys get that. So that's the Elevate event. And I know Carrie's having one over there. And I think that her and Dawn Carpenter are going to do it, and possibly Dawn Hurst as well. So that's going to be great. So now we know about those resources. And if you're, for my particular event, if you're a coach, because we believe in community, coming by yourself would simply be counterproductive to building community. We already know you. And so the cost, one of the requirements to attend our event as a coach is that you bring somebody. Bring somebody that's not a client yet. And let's get to know them. They're going to be a great addition to our community, however they would like to be part of it.
And I would encourage you also to bring clients too.
Yes.
That people are, because they're going to get a chance to get locked into the community and see and share.
You can bring anybody. Just don't just bring you. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yep. You
can bring your alter ego if you wear like a beret.
Yes, you could. Should we go back to the beret?
Mm-hmm. No, we shouldn't.
We shouldn't? Uh-huh. I used to wear that when I had dreadlocks. Yeah. Craig had dreadlocks. Anyway, moving along. January Habits of Health Study. So I want to share my screen again, and I want to show you something that I've created this link here. I will post it on the Optimal Health Coach page, but I'm also going to post it in the chat here. And you can go in here, and we're going to start January 6th. So the Friday before our event, we're going to have a little, a little meeting here like we normally do. And the first half hour is going to be TSFL University featuring the habits of health, right? And so we're going to go through these different chapters each week, and I'll finish this more. What's the topic? What's the chapter title? But this is the one that I want to draw your attention to. So, I'll probably lead out this first one, but I would like you, all of you, to go and pick a chapter, pick your favorite chapter and put your name in there. And then your job that week is to present, what your takeaways were, kind of a general topic, general outline of what was covered, a couple things that were noteworthy to you, and then have some questions for discussion that we can share with everybody. Right? Does that sound good? Because I don't want to just be teaching all of it. I want to go through it with you. And, you've heard me go through that before. Any questions, or who's led one of our health chapters or done that in the past? Any of you guys? Yeah, Alex, you have. Linda's has, yeah. It's similar to hosting or doing a call review of one of our Habits of Health calls, similar to that. But I want some ownership on your side, because I'm not here to teach you the habits of health. I'm here to learn with you, right? And so pick one of those dates that works. Here's a crazy idea. What if you were to pick a date and then find somebody that's not a client to go through that chapter with them and have them come on with you and host that? I don't know, but that seems like that would build community, right? And so let's do those kinds of things. So secondary is I want to go through a little example. Who on this call doesn't know how or has never listened to a podcast? Raise your hand. Angela, great. Anybody else? Never listened to one? Okay. All right. Well, we have one, so that's good. Who here is subscribed to our Friday Health Coach Huddle podcast? Raise your hand. 2 of us. Okay. So a couple opportunities here for us then is I'm going to share my screen again. And for those of us that have, I have about 30 downloads every week. You can see who's actually subscribing. But in iTunes, let me share my screen. Watch carefully here, because this might be something that you can do for your clients to connect them into a weekly support call, Habits of Health webinar, or the client support call. So I go to iTunes. Now, if you're on a Mac or PC, iTunes is available. And up on the top left here, you can search for music, TV shows, whatever. If you click on podcasts, make sure you go to the store. Here's one thing, TSFL. Oh my goodness. So TSFL client support call, instead of a doctor's call and a nurse call, now we have the client support call, which kind of replaced the doctor's call essentially. We have the Habits of Health podcast. We have the nurse support. So those would be for the archives from the past. That's antiquated now, and it's mostly this. And then Russ McCann, he's another health coach that comes up because TSFL is in his thing. And then, oh, what is that? Hold the fort. Health Coach Huddle, Team Blanchette. So if you were to click on that, and then, ooh, what was last week? 12/8/16. Authentic Curiosity, Power Hours, December promotion idea. So if you were to click on that, you could actually listen to that. And if you were to subscribe, it means every time there's a new one, it's automatically going to deliver it to you. Pretty crazy. Pretty simple. Now let me show you how to do that on your mobile device. Of course, I'm going to be doing this from an iPhone. Let me show you this real quick. It's pretty simple. So let's see here. We will go to here, and we will go to AirPlay. There we go. So there's a picture of my phone, right? And what I do is I put my thumb in the middle of the screen and I pull down. And you can search for podcast. As you can see, I've listened to podcasts. So click on podcast. Oh, come on. Don't steal my thunder. Delete. So then I go down to search, which is at the bottom right corner. And then it pulls up this search window. At the very top, I type in TSFL. I know. And see, it's only going to give you the top hit. So you actually have to hit that search button in the bottom right corner. Some people miss this piece. And they're like, I only see one. Well, so hit search. Oh my goodness. What just happened? So we've got Team Blanchette over there on the right. Believe it or not, that's a mirror image of what you saw in that other place. Just you're viewing it on a different device. And if I hit subscribe, now I'm subscribed to it. Now let's go back. Let's go ahead and get the Habits of Health call, and I'm already subscribed to that. Let's do this fancy new one here. Subscribe. Now at the bottom, I go to my podcasts, and now I have these different calls that I'm subscribed to. So let's click on the support call. Well, Lori Anderson and Mark Nelson hosted it on 12/14, right? So now you know how to go in there and listen to these different things and have it automatically be downloaded to your phone. And if I click on podcasts, I use a different app, but you see these little buttons with the 4, the red 4 or the 28 or whatever. That means you have new content in there. And so with your podcast app, it'll show you when there's a new episode there ready to be listened to. All right. And then lastly is if you are a subscriber to YouTube or Vimeo, you can also subscribe there, and then it won't be just audio. It will be audio and video. And let me show you that really quick. So if we go to Vimeo, that kind of rhymed. I know. That's what I'm doing here today. You guys are awfully quiet. So
we're all looking at our phones, man.
You're all looking at your phones? Well, yeah. So let's just time out for a second. And did I lose anybody? Raise your hand and let's go back and say, wait a minute here. What? Because this, once you get this the very first time, you are locked in. But that's not just for you. When you lock one of your clients in, they're locked in. You don't have to go resubscribe. You don't have to go find it. You don't have to search for anything. You push the podcast button when you see a little red 1 and you listen to it. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're doing your hair. You can listen to it while you're cooking dinner, maybe exercising. If you ever thought, combining those things. So does anybody, I want to take a good pause here. Who got lost or are you all subscribed now? Yeah. This is huge for client support because many people that you coach will never read the Habits of Health book. I hate to burst your bubble, but they will never do it, right? But they will listen to something because that's kind of how they're wired. I personally like to listen more than I like to read. But I mean, that's changing, but that is my preference. So If people don't ever listen to a Habits of Health podcast and they never read the book, how are they going to change their life so that they are now a healthy lifestyle? If you have the answer to that, tell me, right? It's going to be the school of hard knocks, and it's going to be trial and error, trial and error, trial and
I'll just jump in there real quick. So first off, does anybody have a question or comment, as Craig asked?
Come on.
Eileen, what's up?
Eileen, finally. Thank you. I'll unmute you there. You're up.
I just, I think my mind was somewhere else. Could you do it like real quick again? I'm sorry.
I can do it or quick, or I can
I take it that what you're doing is you're teaching us to download the podcasts so that we can share any particular ones that hit us that will be applicable to any of our clients, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, so you can let them subscribe so that they can download them anytime they want.
Right. Okay. That sounds good.
And actually, you know what? Even though I did that all for you live, I recorded a little video of that.
Okay. I'll look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just put the link to the video in the chat message, and I will also send it to you personally, or have Alex send it to you personally.
Okay.
You can walk through the process. You can hit pause. Once you're subscribed, you can actually go back and listen to this.
Right.
Of course, you won't need it then because you already have been subscribed. But thank you, Eileen. You know what? I appreciate that you said I didn't quite catch that, because if you just said, "Oh, maybe I'll get it later," you won't, and then you just won't have it, and then who loses?
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you for that. And Linda Benson, I will unmute you because I have that kind of power.
You do.
Go for
Thank
it.
you. Yeah. I didn't know you could watch the videos through the subscribed. I have always gone to the Habits of Health YouTube page and sent that link. Can you either show us again, or we can do it on our own? That might be more official to send to clients and candidates, because I'll send it to both.
Yeah. Let me show you that on my screen again. And,
okay. Thank you.
Yep. And so mirror my desktop. By the way, all of you using Zoom can mirror your iPhone if you ever want to do what I'm doing. When you choose share screen, you just click on the button that says iPhone or iPad, and then you can do that. But so we'll go to podcast again. Let's just say, for example, I'm going to go to my podcasts, and then we're going to go to the Health Coach Huddle. And this is the one from last week. And if, let's say I really like that one and I wanted to send it to somebody. Over on, see those three little dots? I don't know if you can see my mouse, but these three little dots over here, if you click that, watch out. Oh, share episode. Are you kidding me? I want to share something. And then I'm going to share that via Messenger. And I'm going to send that to Linda Elizabeth Benson. Let's send it to her and get a little message. I love you. That's nice, isn't it? Not a question mark. Send. So I just sent that to Linda, and she's going to get that episode now.
Oh.
Something went wrong. Maybe it doesn't think I really do love you, but I do.
I do share via that way or text. I mean, that's the easiest way to let people listen to it than saying go to the podcast. But you said something about a video. You can I don't know if that's on the Habits of Health ones, or maybe I missed something.
Yeah, well,
there's a listen to, and then there's the video.
So podcasting is audio only.
Okay, that's a probably no duh thing for most people, but I did not know that.
Well, I mean, technically you can have video podcasts, but historically and primarily, all Take Shape for Life's podcasts are audio only.
Got it. Okay.
If you want to, so that means no video. Okay. Just hearing.
Okay.
And if you want to have the hearing with the seeing, then you can have like the YouTube app on your phone.
Okay.
Go and find the Take Shape channel, and there's a playlist.
Okay.
It's Habits of Health webinars.
Okay. They have their own playlist. I've done the Habits of Health one on YouTube.
Yeah.
But Take Shape has its own kind of comprehensive one as well.
Yes. Let me show you there. Let me go over here to Take Shape.
By the way, for any new coaches or even people who've been coaching for a while, sometimes you can really send the Habits of Health calls to people who aren't even on program or aren't even a part of the community and say, hey, this was helpful for me, because they're like competency skills in health, and it drips and layers the community and our health and wellness side, not the MetaFast side. So that's I've sent Craig's Brain Power one to a lot of people who aren't even necessarily interested in coaching, or haven't said anything about going on program, but it's a good layering.
So I go to the Take Shape channel, and then over here under playlists, you have Habits of Health Zoom calls, right? And so if I click that,
oh, wow.
Here they all are, flexing your brain biceps. I don't know. That was pretty good, right?
That's awesome.
Look at this. Community equals common unity. I think we coined that. That was Alex, by the way. We're taking credit for that one. Right? Exercise. How to get started with a practical plan. That was with me and Shirley. And then if you go down in here, I bet you would find one that said something about struggle or fight, and pain pushes and desire pulls. It's probably going to be in there somewhere. Those are just some ones that I did that have been popular with people. But yeah, so you can go in here and you can click on that. Let's just click on brain biceps. And then if I want to share that, actually the easiest way I've done to share is click I like it. And then it gives me this little shortened link. You can copy that and paste that out there. Or you can just go up to the top. That one's a lot bigger. But
you know what, this, like, kind of summarizing this whole section of what we just did is we just learned how to leverage the system that we have. And when clients ask a question of, how do you get through social events without, totally losing it and going off your program, or boy, I really feel that I get stressed out so easy with this or that, or whatever it is, we can go back through, and especially if we've been listening every week to these Habits of Health calls, we'll know in our brain, hey, there's a podcast or there's a Zoom on that topic because I've been consuming it every week. You're prepared to help you're not only yourself be successful, but you're prepared then to feed that to your client. The oftentimes shortcoming that can happen is that you tell your client all that information. Oh, here's what you do. And you're like, 15, 20-minute conversation later, and they're overwhelmed, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What you want to do is empower them and say, I'm going to send you a link. And when they click that link, now all of a sudden they're able to digest it and get all that, but you're empowering them to take action. And what you want to do is you want to market that. And it's kind of like the waiter who comes up to your table and he's like, let me tell you about the specials today. We have this seared ahi from the south coast of Hawaii or whatever they're saying, and it's got a this and a that, right? And how we serve that up practically to a client is they're struggling, and you go, oh my goodness, Martha, I'm so glad you shared that with me. I've got something I think you're going to just love. Are you ready to finally stop struggling in that? And she says, yeah. Like, no, seriously, are you like sick and tired of that problem? Let's say she's brought it up a couple of times. You ask them a question, you get them to pause, because sometimes they're just ranting, right? And they're not really trying to learn or solve it. You need to stop that. And she goes, yeah. I go, if you're serious, would you give yourself 20 to 30 minutes to potentially end that whole cycle, that whole vicious thing that you just talked about?
Alex is creating some curiosity there. He's
Yeah.
getting buy-in, but he's creating curiosity. Wait a minute. He just said that this could be tasty for my brain. Wait a minute. I want some.
Mm-hmm. So you got two options. You could just send them the link, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have all that, how to stop somebody's pattern and get them to actually be listening, just say, hey, I've got something for you. Boom, there's the link. At the same time, if you want to stop the pattern, sometimes just stopping and asking the question, are you serious about what you just said? So tell me about the pain of that. Okay. Tell me what you would like it to be like. Would you take 20 to 30 minutes to potentially end that entire cycle and move yourself forward to what you really want? Yes, I will. I'm going to send you something. And then you send it to them. If they have a pattern of not doing what they say they were going to do, ask them when they would schedule it. When would you give yourself 20 to 30 minutes? So these are the coaching skills to create the space for people. And that's really what coaches are. We're here to awaken the why you'd want to, and then help them connect with when they would and resolve that tension. Or you can just send it. That's your default.
Yeah. So one more time, I'm going to run through just where to find the Habits of Health calls on YouTube. So let's see here. So if you go to, let's see here, Take Shape for Life. Just want to make sure I can find it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Share my screen again. So I went from back to the beginning because I already had it subscribed to, so I didn't need to do this. But so I went to YouTube and I typed in Take Shape for Life, and I had some different videos. Okay, day 3 from Ian Butts. Okay, don't know. Take Shape Transformations. Okay, interesting. Oh, wait a minute. This is a channel. That one looks a little different. Okay, so let me click Take Shape channel. And then, oh, it looks like I'm already subscribed. Well, let's just unsubscribe so you can see what that looks like. Hey, folks, I want to subscribe to that. Oh, that was easy. So now I'm subscribed to it. Now I go over here and I click on videos. Well, that's just going to be every single video they've ever created. So that's going to be a hodgepodge. You know, these cutie pies. Harold, I believe that's Harold and Samantha. Anyway, if I go to playlists, wait a minute, what's that going to do? Oh, now I have all these different groupings of videos. And Habits of Health, that looks like a fun one. And here they all are.
Hey, Craig, I saw at the top it said channels. Would you be able to click on channels?
Oh, channel. Let's click channels. Now, yes, but see, it's curious because, I don't seem to find the one, because a channel is obviously different than a playlist.
Yeah.
So Take Shape is a channel, and channels have playlists. That makes sense, doesn't it? You can have a jazz channel, and then it has different playlists of different kinds of jazz. Well, this is a Take Shape channel, and it has different little playlists. Was that good? Was that good to go through that? This is so important that you get it.
Yeah.
Going through this 2 or 3 times is totally appropriate. Now I'm going to have a little circle back moment on you. Alex, we were talking about doing something that is overwhelming. And so he just said, well, you have a client that says they have this issue, and you could just send them this video. Not if you don't know how to find the video, or not if you don't know what's on the video. So I'm going to circle this right back around to you. And Alex said something very poignant. He said, what if you subscribe to these and you listened to them each week for your own personal growth? And in the process of becoming a student of health, you actually were learning some things, or things were sinking in. And when you're listening to that podcast on sleep, that week when you talked to Betsy, and Betsy said, I don't sleep very well, all of a sudden these 2 dots that are floating around connect. And now you go and you send Betsy that thing on sleep. See how that whole thing? So if you literally, you won't do this if you don't do this. And that sounds silly.
Yeah. Let me put a pattern interrupter in there.
Ooh.
Okay. Pattern interrupter.
Here's a pattern interrupter.
There you go. Bang. That's it. That is a pattern interrupter, man. I love it. All right. So I could do like a little song and dance, turn my hat sideways and interrupt what you guys were thinking. Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Woo!
That's good.
So that's a pattern interrupter. Changing it up a little bit. See yourself in the middle. You're the little dot. There's the healthy body, a healthy mind, and healthy finances. That's you. We surround you. Pretty amazing, huh? So what is this all about? If we just take that, I'm going to subscribe to the habits of health. One of the reasons why people don't stick with the weekly habits of health, like listening to that, you can't take me seriously. Okay. Is because they get bored. And the reason why they get bored is because our brains are trained to not focus and pay attention. Why are they trained that way? Because of social media and all these random pop-ups and commercials and noises and buzzers and things that are constantly going off. But here's the thing. When you see somebody you admire who's a health coach, you go, man, how did Dr. Anderson learn that? Or how does Craig remember those things or think about those things? Because of this consistent discipline of taking something in. It's the consistency. And when you hear somebody who's just got phenomenal information, it's not an overnight thing. It's the consistency. That habits of health call weekly and those other calls or being on these weekly, over time, they change the way you think and they change what comes out of your mouth as a coach. But you want to basically get that. And then when you hand that over and transfer that to your clients, and you just keep with it, eventually their frustration of not taking action will either cause one or two things. They'll either say, wow, maybe I should actually listen and do that. Or two, they'll just live in their misery. And that's you have to be able to accept that too. The good news is though, is that if you will just make the decision to do it, you'll find over the course of time, those things just come out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. That's right. DJ Jazzy Jeff. So, so action. Now we're to the time of the call. We got to get a rap going somehow, but now we're at the time where we're going to start action. I'll work on that. I'm so white. So what's one thing that, based upon what we've just been talking about, there's probably three things that are possibilities that you could do. So we talked about hosting an event or joining an event. That's an action item. Or maybe just clicking on it and clicking on some of those things. Those are action items too. We talked about the habits of health study, inviting people to come and maybe you have clients that have never read the book, but they might if it's a live class. I don't know. And then we learned how to listen to hot podcasts, how to subscribe. There could be an action item, maybe to subscribe and actually listen. And then one is to sign up to teach a class. There we go. And so we're going to go around the room, going around the horn. Alex, what's your action item?
My action item is right now to create my Elevate invite list.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So you get
invited.
Okay, so he's going to create a list and start inviting. Carrie Armstrong. I'm going to sing all your names today. That's going to be fun.
That was pretty. My action item is to be intentional in finding a challenge with each of my clients, because I know everybody has them, and then rupturing their pattern and getting a podcast to them or a video, because I haven't been using that tool. So I think practicing that will be really huge.
Right. Awesome. Dan Steets.
Talk to Tracy about Elevate.
Elevate. That's right. Angela. Here, let me unmute you. You're good.
I need to focus on me for a little bit. So
focus on you. You have a specific way you can do that?
If I talk anymore, I'll cry. So I don't want to cry. But there's just stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, I'm available if you want to connect today. Okay, sounds good. iPhone. We're going to call you Debbie. Debbie, you're up.
I'm going to start my my list for the Elevate. Start inviting people, let them save the date. Save the date.
Save the date. Yeah.
Yep.
So one way to save the date, you can create a Facebook event with some details on it, and then you can start inviting people to the Facebook event.
Yep.
Let Facebook do your work for you. Maureen. You're up, Maureen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to work on my invite list also, but I'm also going to push myself. I like that Habits of Health,
The chapter.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at a date, and I'm looking actually spring break, because usually I can't get on Friday calls.
There you go.
But spring break I can. So I'm going to sign up quickly for that one. And then I'm very, very interested in those podcasts too. So I liked what I heard today regarding getting this information out to potential clients, current clients, myself.
Yep.
And so I'm really going to work on that.
Well, Maureen, these calls are normally lame, but since you were here, we decided to go ahead and pack it full of goody and folks.
Yay! Thank you.
Eileen, you're up.
Yeah, I won't be here I'll be out of country. I'm going on a mission trip to the Dominican Republic. So I won't be back until the 9th. So Alex and he can help me maybe make this up some other time when I come back.
So Eileen, even though you won't be here, there's people that you know that will be. So think about inviting somebody to an event that could change your life, even though you'll be out at Colombia, or Dominican Republic. So connect with Alex and talk about that. And maybe you could do both. I don't know. Because what if they said no to come to that event, but you had your own 5 days later? Cool, crazy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll connect with Alex. But then I liked also the thing about the podcast and the YouTube. I might start looking at a few and apply it to myself, and then also share it with people that it may apply to and or really help.
Yes. Start with the first step of just consuming some.
Yeah.
And then let the magic happen. I think it will happen. I just think when you've heard something and someone, all of a sudden you will start hearing the need for that thing, and the dots will just connect. Just trust me on that one. Okay. Thanks, Eileen. Dawn Hurst. Is this good, guys? This is a rare.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. My first action item is to get you voice lessons.
To get me voice lessons. Thank you.
I'm just teasing. Jokes.
No, I'm good with it.
Actually, just to stay in touch with the clients I have and make sure they're using the tools that I've given them. And just to continue working. Oh, go ahead.
Something like specific that you can do in the next 30 minutes, because you may not be able to connect with all your clients in 30 minutes. Is there one thing based upon what we've taught here that you can say, I'm just going to do that right now?
Well, I got a new iPhone. So I'm transferring everything over. So I don't know if that counts.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I have to get it there before I send this phone back. So.
Yeah. And so one of those things of transferring might be to subscribe to one of the podcasts, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet.
Got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good to see you again, by the way. Linda Benson and baby on board.
I think Baby B and I are going to look at, I will also be gone. I'll be in Disneyland on the 7th.
I heard they had a big party there.
Yeah, I should just set up shop next to the pizza stand. But Alex's idea is I've got a lot of coaches in those areas in the Northwest, and who can I connect them to, so that just because I'm gone doesn't mean they can't, attend. So maybe creating an invite list and a locations list, and then start messaging people about the event now.
And you can search Office in Motion for Oregon or Washington, and then you'll get a list of those people, and then you can just start calling clients, right? And then if you want, Linda, since you're not going to be there, but I will be.
You've got a lot of people in your area that are coaching with us.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they might know me already because you've done client celebration calls, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Boring guy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to do a little celebration and we can bring that up, I'm in.
That's perfect.
Yep.
There's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of my clients are actually, now that I'm thinking about, are in your area.
They are.
So Joanna, Brian, Chad,
all those.
all these people. Okay.
All right. Great stuff. Barbara Cleary in the house.
Well, I've already signed up for chapter 2.
We're not even through it. Okay, way to go.
I did my action item. There it is. There's my step.
Nice.
And I've confirmed with you that you're going to allow me to bring people to the event that you're having. But I'm also going to connect. I've got a whole pile of family and friends from all over the country that I'm going to be looking at what's going on in that area and inviting them or having them check it out.
And when we talk about these action items too, just a word of caution for all of us, because we have a lot of things we're going to do. So maybe write those 3 things down, but really focus on one and do it now, right? It could be a simple thing. Well, you've already done it. You signed up for the list. Okay, so good. Now you're moving on to the next one. Well, maybe I'll do a search and see where there's some other events are.
Well, yeah, because the thrill of it is crossing it off your list.
Yeah,
I love looking at the end of the day and seeing all those little lines through stuff that I've already done. Yeah.
Okay, here's a confession. Who does something that's not on their list and you add it to the list with a checkbox and you check it off? Anybody? Yeah, I so do that. Yep. Diane Thompson.
Yeah. Well, I
thing.
got 2 things. Can I share both?
Share the first one first.
Well, they might be related though. So, well, one of them is I'm doing my first wellness fair on the island of Whidbey. No one's ever done a wellness fair. So I've got a partner who's doing all the advertising and stuff. So, and that's the 21st. So I started thinking, well, the people who are going to be the vendors there, wouldn't it be cool to invite them to January 7th, the Elevate? I mean, I don't know. I gotta think it through a little bit more, but yeah. And I have a couple gals here who are considering coaching, and I'll invite them to the Elevate now, because what a great way to get started coaching.
Perfect. I love inviting people to an event or to something with the next something already kind of known.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really smart. Great job. Kim and Kim Stewart. Are you able to talk? I don't know.
Yeah, I can. I would say my next to do is the invite list for Elevate as well.
Okay, sweet. All righty. I think that covers. Do you think Jeremy's going to do the same thing? Should I sing Jeremy too?
I can tell him what to do.
Okay. He's on. So, all right. Okay. So that's it, guys. So go to work and don't forget, if you get stuck, don't stay stuck. I invite you not to stay stuck. Mm-hmm. I'm available. Alex is available. Your coach is available. So if you stay stuck, I don't know, think about it.
You know, I just want to give one last thing on this for our brains to stay in action, get into action and stay into action. How many of you, this is a vulnerable moment, have ever had great content from a meeting like this, best of intentions, and then within literally one day, you're totally not doing any of it and you're back into reacting to whatever? Okay, everybody except for Carrie, because she rocks. So, cool. She's on the phone or something. All right, cool. All right. That's good. Some people are finisher completers like that. I'm historically not a finisher completer. So what is the breakthrough that allows you is having a coach or a guide help you map out not only just the next step, but why the next step is relevant to where you're going for that month. And that could be relevant to where you're going for that year or where you're going for your life. But that's so big and vague out there from life, right, to right now. There's this gap in between the two. And if you have at least, this is what this drill down is, what's the big purpose for why I'm doing all of this, you know, and that's so vague, but you boil that down to, what am I going to create this month? What am I going to do this week? What am I going to do this day? What am I going to do next? You see how that works? And if for whatever reason you haven't done the visionary dreaming of the big thing, go back to just the month. The month is a short enough period of time. If I could serve a few people's life, if I could help 5 people get on the path to help, if I could help the people I do have get integrated to locking this in, those are a couple good enough things to just map out what that happens through. And if you can connect how Elevate and how making that list to invite to Elevate is relevant to that, your brain will go, oh, I got it. So sometimes you need to see more than just the next step to have the motivation is the point. But always bring it back to the now. Always bring it back to now. And when you knock that off, because that's enough, then you come up with what's the one next thing. So that's the formula. Knock the first thing off without letting your brain obsess about all of it, and then identify what the one next thing is. Use your coach guide to help you focus as you get distracted. Cool.
That was awesome. Okay, guys. So seriously, tear it up. We'll see you later.
All right. Hey, coaches on